Now let me bring in Joel Rubin. He's Director of Policy and Government Affairs with Plowshares Fund and a former State Department officer. Joel, thanks for coming on again with us today. You heard Richard Smith with VotesBet says, listen, this was the only choice the president could make given the status of the forces agreement that was negotiated under the Bush administration, given the situation on the ground that the troops that would be left behind would have no immunity here, that this was the move the president had to make at this time.
It really is a move that the president had to make. It's a smart and strategic move. It advances our interests, it respects the Iraqi wishes, and it fulfills the president's commitment to the American people. We could not leave troops in Iraq without immunity, and that was the recent debate. But really, the agreement was made during the Bush administration to withdraw troops by the end of this year, and at the request of the Iraqis, the troops are going home, and this is a good thing.
I've got a couple of new statements, and I want to read this one. This is the Chairman of the House Armed Services, Congressman Howard McKeon. He says, in part, I remain concerned that this full withdrawal of U.S. forces will make that road tougher than it needs to be, meaning the road of recovery. Multiple experts have testified before my committee that the Iraqis still lack important capacities in their ability to maintain their internal stability and territorial integrity. These shortcomings could reverse the decade of hard work and sacrifice both countries have endured to build a free Iraq. Again, that is Congressman Howard McKeon. He's the chairman of the House Armed Services. What do you say to that statement from the chairman?
Well, certainly the chairman is on the record for wanting to keep troops in Iraq relatively indefinitely, and that view is not one that's going to bring security and stability to Iraq. There's a plan in place. The Iraqis themselves want to control their own country. They believe they can, and they will get support from the U.S. in the terms of weapons sales, and there will be continued diplomatic agreements and discussions and relationships going forward. But they feel ready, and we should respect that.
Just got another statement in, this one from Mitt Romney. He swings really hard at the president in this reaction. Quote, President Obama's astonishing failure to secure an orderly transition in Iraq has unnecessarily put at risk the victories that were won through blood and sacrifice of thousands of American men and women. The unavoidable question is whether this decision is the result of a naked political calculation or simply sheer ineptitude in negotiations with the Iraqi government. This is Mitt Romney's statement just coming in. What was the failure to secure an orderly? What could he be talking about here, Joel?
It's not clear to me. This is a very disrespectful tone being given by Mitt Romney, provided that he even understands the situation on the ground, as well as our commanders, our troops, and our diplomats. He clearly doesn't. The administration is working closely with the Iraqi government. They have an agreement. There has been a sequential, orderly drawdown. This is an agreement of two countries that will look at each other after the U.S. leaves as equals, and this is a good thing, and so I'm not sure where he's coming from.
All right, Joel, thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate your time. Again, another big